I was going to say Puff Daddy's got a better shot at becoming a relationship counselor than you two getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that won't happen. That.
Yeah.
They're never getting married.
You sit down with Puff Daddy. Very expensive. My wife and I have been having problems. Well, have you tried beating the shit out of her? It's like...
Can you believe we're paying him $350 an hour? I don't want to go back to see him again.
Yeah. And the husband's like, well, I don't know. Let's try it out. We've done one session. I mean, were you listening to anything he said? Because if you're not going to put the work in, then let's not go back. But if you want to try to save our marriage. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted, listen, it's tough to start these episodes off on this note because, we always talk about it. We're what did you say? A game?
A game? Yeah, we always bring our A game.
We always bring our A game. Mm-hmm. But I think that this production team could use a little Kristi Noem kind of energy.
Oh, okay? Really?
Yeah. I mean,
shake things up a little bit.
Shake things up a little bit, Strong arms and a merciless threshold for the life and death of a dog. And the dog I'm referring to is Below Deck. Because this episode, ladies and germs, what are we doing here with this? Okay? What are we doing here with this? Okay? Before we even get to PSAs, 2 pots.
2 pots?
2.
Yeah, I got to tell you, at some point in the episode, we got some C-Rat history with Dylan. You know what I mean? It was so disappointing. You can there's nothing left in the tank.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a C-Rat story, Dylan. I don't know if you remember. Maybe you were like dozing off because it was so boring. Dylan, apparently, when he was a little kid, he didn't get good grades. His dad was pissed.
Yeah, I caught that.
You can go fuck yourself with that C-Rat history. Okay, sir? That's a non-C-Rat story.
Yeah,
don't ever do that again. And for all future C-Rats, okay, this is how you do it. You were at 4th grade spelling bee, and you learned your dad was killed by the Colombian cartel.
And listen, it's not on Dylan. Dylan can only share the pain that he's experienced, right? But what we need to do is start hiring people with a lot more pain. I mean, let's do psych evals on these people, and let's really sick on the guests that pay for this vacation. I mean, if we're going to do it, let's go full bore. I mean, no half measures. Let's get some people out of institutions and have them serve the people on this boat because they're cleaning toilets anyways. Just pick the hottest people from the softest rooms and get them on these fucking boats.
I felt like we were all on the same page, and that's what they were doing. Well, anyway, it wasn't a great episode. I think we got one more left, and then I get attacked by people on our Facebook group all the time, another Below Deck podcast Facebook group.
And I apologize for not really going on there.
Yeah, you don't want to be there. People say bad things about us. Okay. They said old Patty was bitching about there being reunions and not being reunions. And what do you want, Patty? I'll tell you what, I want entertainment, okay? If it's going to be good and there's questions that need to be answered, then have a reunion. If everything is just kind of like this season, feels like we have all our answers. I don't know. Barbie, are you and Kyle still together? I don't think they are. Okay, good. Make it a 5-minute reunion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Put it on TikTok.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, I agree with you, Dylan. This was a horrible episode. 0 pots.
Okay, I want to speak on, the recipe for a good episode of Below Deck. And I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't think that the social appetite is that ravenous for this show. I don't know how their ratings are doing, but I as we limp to the finish line with our hamstrings just completely torn apart, I don't think that it was a very good season. I think that it had a lot of promise in the beginning, but first things first, hiring Chef Anthony, too timid, his uncle did bang his wife, which was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, we made a lot of hay out of that.
We did, and probably, more hay than there was to be made out of it. But what you need is a firecracker right out of the gate. We need to start getting more unstable people on these boats, like I mentioned, but that includes the charter guests too. Mm-hmm. I don't need Reiki. I need broken glass.
I like it.
Okay?
Yeah.
What are we doing asking for invitations of breath work and stretches? We need punches to be thrown.
Dill, and I've also, so we've joked about this, but not joked about it. Captain Carey is way too competent to be on duty on this vessel.
Yeah, I mean, he turned into a little bit of a timeshare tonight, but we'll get there. I understand where he's coming from.
Right. But the problem with competency is it doesn't always make great television.
No.
Okay? So, he's the leader there. So we need more fuck-ups. I think we're both in agreement.
Yeah.
So do better next season, please.
Like if Captain Carey developed some kind of addiction that was overwhelming and made it challenging for him to captain the vessel. Mm-hmm. But, we're dealing with real people and, people have to live their healthy lives. So all jokes. But listen, the episode is called Salt in Chef's Wounds. We kick off with some sweet B-roll of the fruit stands and feral dogs of Grenada.
That's right.
Do you say Grenada or Granada?
I think there's a preference.
I feel horrible because it's likely one of those lands that we either heavily colonized and then caused some kind of CIA-fueled coup d'etat, and here I am not even being able to pronounce it.
I think we invaded it in 1986.
Oh, that's right. We invaded it. So
I don't know, though.
So the feral dogs of Grenada and/or Grenada are walking all over the place. They're barking. They're biting each other. I mean, let's keep a camera on that for a while, But we go to Nick snoring, and Dylan,
I have thoughts on this, by the way.
Yeah, Dylan says your snoring is very loud, and he says, "I'm not asleep." Okay. The confidence you have to go from slumber to instant defensiveness about the state of slumber is quite insane.
A natural reflex to lie is the scary part.
Right.
No. I'm not even sleeping, man.
Right.
Hey, mate, you're snoring. I definitely didn't have sex with your sister.
Oh, okay. So.
What? I said you were snoring.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you remember in Kill Bill Volume 2 when David Carradine shot Uma Thurman with that dart of the ultimate truth? Mm-hmm. So you're saying you pry a drunk out of sleep and you will get the truth.
You may get truth out of them.
But you didn't get truth here because he clearly was sleeping. Yeah. I mean, he was just lying.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little concerned over Nick now.
What's that?
Well, just the reflex of your natural instinct is to be a liar.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, I got to keep my eye on him for the last episode.
Yep, I totally see where you're coming from. So I got really hopped up and all jacked up because we've got a primary who's divorced and she's celebrating her 50th birthday. Here I am thinking this is going to be lit because nobody can party like someone who's happily divorced. Like a lady who's happily divorced celebrating a milestone birthday. That is all the trappings of a wicked great time.
I agree.
It's not good when a man does it because men are just creepy about it. I mean, how many men have we seen come aboard these vessels with like young women who have no desire to fuck them at all? It's just sad and disgusting. But when women go, they turn the fuck up.
Well, that's why I think it's Back Channel Ben and Dylan. When they hear the news, we got some horny divorcees coming on.
Oh, yeah.
They're already trying to figure out who they're going to pork.
Yeah.
Which I would argue it's not really up to you.
Yeah. No.
I'm going to pork that one. You can pork that one. Hey. I think they have some say in the matter, boys.
Yeah. And I've been saying that for years, that these men think that, how do I say this delicately? Every hole is open to them. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you have to put in the work. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to frame it like work, because it's not work. It's human connection. So what happens next?
Well, we get that non-Sea-Rat sad story from Dylan. His whole thing is the only thing interesting about it is that they keep cutting to that one picture they have of Dylan
Yeah.
holding that puppy as a fatty.
Yeah. The puppy's like, help me, I can't breathe.
He doesn't like fatties because
Yeah.
dogs can be judgy, Dylan.
Right. Dogs can be judgy.
The dog doesn't look happy. So you think the dad was pissed at the bad grades. That little dog does not want to be held by a little fatty dog.
Oh my God. I mean, think of the German Shepherds in Selma. I mean, how judgy were those fucking pieces of shit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Not to take away any onus of the racist whites who were at the other end of the leash, but we're just joking around. So Kyle speaks on the Reiki, yes, how he's done this before.
He has.
Yeah.
Wonder if he showed her his balls.
Why do you say that? Why did you just say that?
Well, he likes showing his balls to everybody.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
It's fun. It's a Scottish thing.
Yeah. It is.
It's worth mentioning. It's a possibility.
Is he Irish or Scottish?
Scottish.
Okay. So Dylan and Barbie talk about the merits of physical exercise, and we find out that, okay. You covered it. It doesn't belong on the C-Rat SAD scale. It doesn't even chart. Okay? It doesn't even chart. It's like a 2.1 earthquake in Los Angeles. It's not even real. So Paris and Frage have a little conversation. She says that there's no tension between her and Nick. Paris, in what world? Paris, in what world is there no tension between you and Nick? You two hate each other.
Yeah. I think he said that you should stick to cleaning pee off toilet seats.
The expression "you could cut the tension with a knife" refers to the kind of tension that you have. The tension so palpable that it can turn from a cerebral mass into a physical one that can be cut with a knife. That's the kind of tension that you guys have. So we see a dead rat, and Sonny IDs that the rat is female. How?
It's a good question. Maybe she looked pregnant.
Regardless, it was just like, this is what we've got on the show right now. Okay, we're pushing dead rats off of the dock, and it's too close to home a metaphor, and it's too sad. So I don't know why we needed to see this.
No, but they gave it to us. Now, Dill, we get to an important edit here. So
very important.
Did you catch this edit by Bravo?
Sure.
I can't figure out if they love Barbie or if they're trying to make her look like a brat.
Yeah.
So they have her complaining to her friend Monica that she works so hard. And then while they're showing this, they have coworkers working while she's on the phone.
Right. And you picked up on it.
Well, yeah, because Barbie is a self-proclaimed daddy's girl. She's already owned this, that she's a brat. You can't do any more dirty to her.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I heard Puff Daddy's he's not a good boyfriend.
Heard Michael.
No shit.
Heard Michael Jackson was a bad tipper. Yeah. Did you hear that he fucking kisses little boys' balls? Did you hear that? It's called burying the lead. Charles Manson kept Spawn, just it was filthy.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like Norm has that bit where Patton Oswalt says, the hypocrisy surrounding the Bill Cosby thing was the worst part, and it wasn't. It was the drugging and the raping. Yeah. Yeah, so Barbie's not drugging and raping anybody. She's just working her tail off. And Vampira is pissed because, you know what? I can say this lovingly. Vampira, fuck off. Okay, where did you go? What, into the wallpaper? Okay, I mean, you began the season a day-walking fucking vampire, and you ended it a pillowcase. I mean, what even are you on this show?
I have to tell you, it just... unlocked potential. I felt like Vampira really got sidelined this season by herself. She did it to herself.
Yeah.
I had so much for her and so many expectations for her.
Yeah.
To really.
You had a kindling that could always light for her.
No, but none of it came true.
No.
She didn't hook up with anybody.
No. That kindling was doused with piss. Captain Carey is pulling a Captain Timeshare on the last chart of this season. And he's doing a Phil Jackson kind of thing where he's trying to end the season on a high so that when we come back, we know the standards that are expected of this organization. Right. The problem is that you're trying to instill these lessons of work ethic to C-Rats. They're thinking about heading to Miami, sucking down a couple lines, and popping. They're not focused on the standards of excellency aboard this vessel.
They've made it close enough to the finish line where, kind of the work is done at this point.
The guests arrive, and we have a conversation about how Dylan is losing muscle mass, and Nick hasn't lived up to his potential. And this is where I'm like, this is where you have to pull the trigger. Not like Kristi Noem did with that puppy, but for the show, we can't be seeing conversations about how Dylan has lost muscle mass and that Nick is going to live up to his potential in the 15th episode of the show, because that's why, the Twitter sphere is not talking. Nobody on X.com is tweeting at Elon saying, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this?" Elon's not tweeting about it. Elon's tweeting about Summer House and mainly just Summer House. I mean, he's obsessed with it. But this show is just not making the waves that it deserves to be making.
Yeah. And even that royalty-free music isn't helping anything out. Did you notice they played that music again when the guests arrived? I forgot what the lyrics were and whatnot. But I was thinking, Dill, if you and I ever get lucky enough to be invited on one of these vessels, this will be our music.
Got a sound effect?
No. You and I walking down the deck.
Okay. 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 Question. Do I have a say in the matter?
You absolutely do.
Okay. I was very confused about that song because it started off and I was pretty much at a gay wedding and me and you were getting married. Then it turned into, I don't know, I think like free time at an insane asylum and people were just writing songs about beach balls.
No. It's called My Big Gay Balls.
Oh, okay. Got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like to keep people on their toes, Dill.
Uh-huh. Man, I can't tell you how thrown I am right now. That you just did that bit about that song about big gay balls, and it's like, where are we even now?
Well, there's a guy that in the middle like has a rap breakdown.
Got a tractor
Can you
from the south.
please, Pat? You got to turn it off. I can't have this anymore. Okay. I feel like if Dorothy was uprooted in that house and she landed in Afghanistan, that's what I feel like right now. And that's not a great simile, but I'm struggling to put into words just how thrown I am.
I apologize.
So let's get to an ad break, okay? Listen, you're not going to believe this next sponsor, okay? Because we love this sponsor so much. We go there all the time, and I can't believe that they're now promoting their stuff on our show.
I'm honored.
It's a badge of honor to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Tropical Smoothie Cafe, which believes that you deserve a little vacay every day, not just once a year. And that's why we go all the time. We go, hey, the grind of podcasting, let's just take a little break. Let's go to paradise. And we go to Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
That's right. I feel like I'm at the beach every time we go there, Dill.
Yep. The fan fave summer mocktail smoothies just hit the pool deck at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Summer mocktail smoothies are back and more refreshing than ever. Try the fan favorite Island Punch Mango Berry Cosmo or Watermelon Mojito smoothies today. What's your favorite?
Well, I like the watermelon mojito. Like I said, Dill, when I drink one of those drinks, I'm like, I feel like on a beach in like Mexico or something.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah. So do us this favor, okay? Visit one of Tropical Smoothie Cafe's 1,400 plus locations or order online through their app and use promo code BADTV. Again, visit one of Tropical Smoothie Cafe's 1,400 plus locations or order online or through their app with promo code BADTV. All right, back to the show.
Yeah. I think this is the part of the show that it gets a little stale. They do it every time guests arrive, the tour. And rarely is there any entertainment derived from this.
I don't know if this is racist to say, but the primary has Kamala Harris energy to me.
You think so?
Yeah, if Kamala didn't stupidly commit her life to politics, like Kamala, just go into the private sector and just fuck the country over, and I mean, it'll be so much
Put some
more
money in
fun.
the bank.
Yeah, what are you telling Guatemalans to not come to the country? I mean, who has any fun doing that? Don't come. So Paris speaks on the nightmare of 7 women going on the same trip. Vampira is pissed off about the makeup request from Barbie. Again, Vampira, where have you been? You don't get to just do nothing and then all of a sudden, come out of your coffin and start telling people that they're not working hard enough. I mean, miss me with the bullshit. So I want to see, you want to talk about the songs?
Yeah, please.
Here are the lyrics.
Okay.
I want to see what you're made of. Let me take it again. This is what I'm going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what you're made of. Pop off and make it rain make it rain on me, love. I want to apologize to you.
Oh, it's okay.
And to everybody.
It's not big gay balls.
No, this is about popping off and making it rain love, okay? Which I guess that's what big gay balls is about too. So we move on to Sonny's lats and the undocking. We pull the ropes up and yell the distances, and we get to the feuding between Captain Carey and the exterior.
Now, I am confused about this. So Carey gave an order, and Ben seems annoyed by the request.
Yeah.
Can you break down the game?
Sure, yeah. Carey wants 3 shackles to the water, 4 shackles to the water. They did 4 shackles to the deck or something like that.
Okay.
Now, this is Sea-Rat language I don't care to understand, but there's a difference of 3 meters. Ben seems to think it's not a big deal. This guy is so hot on the muff of his own muff, okay? I mean, it's just, I can't wait to never see him again on TV because I don't think he's going to come back.
I don't think so.
I think that he thinks he deserves an edit that he didn't get. He's very upset about that. And also, he acted like a petulant little bitch at the end of the episode. Ben's like, what do I care? What is he going to do? Fire me? No, but you won't be back on TV, and your DM powers will be, your kryptonite is not being on television. You can't just send out pussy flares when you're not on television.
That's right. It's not going to work the same.
So, 4 on deck versus 4 in the water. Ben wants to, listen, we've covered it. Kyle and Barbie are in love.
Sea-Rat love.
Listen, I'm happy for them, but I mean, what are we doing here? We're falling in love on boats, and Frasier and Zandy shit talk just like me, and I feel icky about it now. But them's the rules, okay?
Yeah.
These things just don't last. I mean, never once have we seen a Sea-Rat baby that wasn't ill-conceived. We've seen one, and it was one of the sadder things that's ever happened on the show.
Sad.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
A lovely Brazilian woman made love to a mentally handicapped giant.
with an overbearing mother. Get the blood test.
How about this? Don't get the blood test. Have a tattoo artist take the back tattoo of the King James Bible off your skin. How about that? Because it's too big. Whatever is on your back.
That was a magical season, though.
Magical season. So, Ben and Sonny, speaking of a couple that is going nowhere,
Well,
the way that Sonny talks about their future makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
well, let's first get to Ben's side here.
Yeah.
So he says he thinks him and Sonny are going to see each other after the show.
Yeah.
He broke down the fourth wall. And he says their relationship is back on track, and he's ready to rekindle their romance. And it definitely has nothing to do with Camille telling him she doesn't want anything to do with him.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I should drop the cynicism because I think that you're right. I think that he's in love with her. So Carrie is dropping the umbrellas and the jacuzzi is cold and lunch is hummus. We've also got scallops with edamame puree and a corn foam. One of the ladies says that she doesn't like how salty the food is and because she doesn't cook with it. What kind of serial killer does not cook with salt?
Okay.
My
This was some
God.
confusion on Patty's part. Did she actually say or some of the guests say that it was unsalted, and then it was a game of telephone by Frasier, who is eavesdropping to then tell Chef Nick that it wasn't enough salt to add more salt.
I think that the first piece of unreliable narration actually comes from Barbie, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But it does, as every game of C-Rat telephone, plays out, it gets back to Nick with the literal exact opposite requirement.
Right. Because this happens to me a lot. So I kind of related to this on the show, which is generally when I order my turkey sandwiches, I say no mayonnaise.
Right.
Which normally results in a Peter North size load of mayo on my fucking turkey sandwich.
Right. And what do you do then?
I scrape it off. But it still has remnants of mayonnaise.
You strike me as such a mayonnaise person.
Are you kidding me? I will throw up. I hate mayonnaise. Hate.
So how do you eat it? Even if you scrape it off.
I do my best. I've taken business cards from losers that I put in my wallet because I'm in my car. I'm always eating on the go.
Yeah.
I'll scrape the mayonnaise off with an old business card.
Oh my God.
Disgusting human being.
Wow. No, mayonnaise is delicious.
Do you imagine I'll spend $1,000 at Disneyland, but I'll feed myself gas station sandwiches?
Yeah. It's spoiled ham and wet bread. I mean, you eat those things, the gradient of color, it goes from gray to pale pink. The cheese tastes like something you've never tasted before in your entire life. The bread it's wet and dry at the same time. It's like I cannot believe that you eat that stuff. So we've got scallops with edamame puree, corn foam. Already brought that up. And yeah, so it gets relayed back to him. You've heard of more cowbell, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, they're going to get more salt. Okay?
That's right.
They're going to get more salt. They gather around, or they gather the Reiki healer, and it looks like Barbie has overslept, half an hour late to work. I mean, who gives a fuck at this point? I mean, seriously. An 86-year-old Trinidadian master granted our Reiki shepherd into her vocation, which is very cool. But again, I mentioned we don't need Reiki. We need boozing, we need screaming, and little did we know how much we would miss Jill Zarin at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think Below Deck Bravo version needs to lower the rules a little bit. We got to allow the C-Rats to hook up with charter guests.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already lowered they've already broken down the realism of how this all works. When you're letting guests come on for $5,000 each, right? Deeply discounted. Fuck it. Throw all the rules out the window. Say, you know what? Do what you want to do.
Yeah. Do what
Make
you
it
want to
entertaining.
Do what you want to do. So Sunny speaks on the merits of Ben as a mate.
Oh.
She says that she wants a hairy, dependable man who treats his woman with respect. Which you can leave, I think, every single one of those boxes empty when it comes to Ben, especially the hairy part.
Is this when she's talking to Dylan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's although she does admit that boatmances generally don't work.
Right. So.
Oh, can we talk about Chef Nick for a second? Because there was a moment where I related to him.
Yeah.
He's depressed.
Yeah.
He looks tired. He looks worn down, as we do in our 40s. And he's sitting there eating a goddamn ham sandwich in the galley.
He says, I'm going to have another one.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to have another one.
Yeah.
Friendly distraction to avoid all stresses and pressures of life. Food. It's a great thing, you know? Until one day you see a picture of yourself and you ask yourself, when did I get a double chin?
Yeah. You just cram your fucking pie hole full of shit so that you don't have to think about the problems in your life. And before you know it, you've got another problem. You're fat. Listen, I've been there. It's crazy.
Dude.
You go, when did I turn into a raccoon at night? When the moon hits the sky, I turn into a fucking raccoon. How's this happening? Why am I eating? I just ate a pickle in a piece of bread. I've never eaten a pickle in a piece of bread in my life. Now I'm having salsa and cottage cheese together. I mean, what's going on?
Hey, Dill.
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you, actually a lot older than you.
Yeah.
We'd have pictures taken all the time, or those iPhones out.
Yeah.
So my age, like when I was 18, you saw a picture of yourself every like 6 months. And I remember the first time I looked at a picture of myself at like a party from like a month earlier.
Sure.
I put on like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
No clue.
Right.
Till I saw that picture.
Yeah, because when you're in the throes of that kind of depression that can only be cured by croquettes and Hot Pockets.
In my case, it was frozen pizza.
Right. Celeste.
Elio's.
You don't look in mirrors because it's too painful, you know. It's just, I'm sure people would go, what about mirrors? What about mirrors? Even though the pictures were only taken so once in a while, you still have mirrors all the time. But, you know, anybody who's been in the throes of depression knows that you don't want to stare back at the thing that's haunting you. You just want to keep eating.
Yeah, I took the mirror off my bathroom wall.
Yeah. See? And that was so that you could eat in the bathroom and spill all the food on a very easy to clean floor without having to look at yourself. I mean, everybody's been through this. So Carrie sees the flybridge messy while the Sea Rats are talking about Ben and Sonny's love. And Carrie's ripshit. Ben thinks that Captain Carrie is militaristic. Captain Carrie is stern and chill as fuck. I'm sorry, but Captain is stern and chill as fuck.
I will say this though, Dill. A few throw pillows on the ground and a couple bottles. You know, when I worked at that North American insurance company, one of my coworkers, Frank, what a great guy. He was like 70. He was ready to retire.
Yeah.
One day, my supervisor, Barbara, who loved me, she gave me the business, you know, about doing something with my job. And then I heard him quietly pull her aside because he had been a manager himself at some point with the company. He said, Barbara, always let them get away with a little bit and let them think they got away with it so they know. Let them have it.
Yeah.
And she took that advice.
Yeah.
Let the Sea Rats get away with a little bit.
He said, Barbara, you're behaving like Stalin right now. Okay. This is North American insurance.
Well, I took that advice from Frank, and I have applied it to many businesses that I've been a manager at.
Yes, 100%.
Only gotten sued 14 times.
Yep. So, you know, take that with a grain of whatever you want. Nick speaks on the adrenaline of a kitchen and why chefs become booze hounds and addicted to smack. They're constantly chasing the dragon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I have something in my chest, so if you could.
Oh, sure. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got? Oh, dinner.
Yeah. This is my territory.
Oh, I was going to set up for you.
All right. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it was just one of those compressed, you know, pockets. You know, they call it a burp, but.
Yeah. Well, we're going to, Nick is going to give us French cuisine because that's what he's trained in.
Sure.
I will say that salad, you know, there's genius in simplicity and beauty in simplicity, Dill, but I feel like I could have picked what he put on that plate off my front yard right now.
Yeah. And that's where, like, you know, people like Rene Redzepi come in and, you know, they can take dandelion weeds and turn it into something beautiful. But, you know, Nick is not quite that, but he starts the dinner off with a French salad. The primary does not like arugula.
Was it on her preference sheet?
No.
Okay.
She also does not like local lobster with saffron risotto and bisque. Why? It's salty. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It's been sitting in the fucking ocean.
But also, salt is a beautiful ingredient. I mean, do you cook with salt?
I don't cook.
So, dessert is going to be a showstopper. We've got a chantilly cream and lemon tart with cherry compote. What do you know? The primary doesn't like lemon. Do you want gummy bears? What do we need to do here? So we hit the next day.
Well, I do want to say we cut to the girls, the interior. They're cleaning those the toilets in those cabins after years of sucking and fucking in the aftermath of that. I think one of them says that the bathrooms have gone viral and not YouTube viral.
No.
The toilet has teeth and it wants to spread herpes. Places are gross.
Yeah, she equates the toilet to like something of John Carpenter's The Thing. Early stages of it, but eventually it will consume wolves. It will consume humans. And, you know, we've talked about it before. They're very, very dangerous things that bubble up on these boats. It's a little bit like the Wuhan lab. These boats. So next day.
Next morning.
Paris slams her head. And we get the news that cabin inspections are going to be happening today.
Now, Dell, this is a little part me narrating what I'm seeing here, but I'm also triggered by what I was seeing. We just covered season 1 of Below Deck with Captain Lee.
Yeah.
He did these insane fire drills for no apparent reason.
I brought up the same note.
You did.
Yep.
This is absolutely stupid. Captain Kerry, you're better than this.
Wow.
You're better than this.
Well, he found his sorry. You found your camera to deliver that line.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hit my post.
Good
Pretty
for you.
annoying.
Yeah.
Pretty annoying. And if you want to hear our coverage of season 1 of Below Deck, where it was a pretty fun season, I got to tell you.
Yeah, it
a
was
lot
a
of
great
interviews with at least half the cast that would sometimes.
Some of the most confusing conversations I've ever had with other human beings.
Yeah, one of the cast members, she didn't want us to let people know that she lived in Virginia.
And the other one didn't want to talk to us
She got on the phone with us 3 times.
and was pissed about it every time.
It's pretty hilarious.
Like, I'm sorry. Did you say yes to this?
Yeah, she took great umbrage when you're like, hey, when you first started being a sea rat, she's like, what did you call me?
A sea rat. I was like, I don't think you're a rocket scientist. She was like, well, I am. I was like, I don't think so.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great. Well, go to patreon.com/another podcast network to hear that. But anyway, this is very annoying.
Why don't you think I'm a rocket scientist? Well, you're an idiot.
He said that.
No, I didn't.
Kinda.
Okay, so Salmon Benedict and an omelet station is up for breakfast.
No salt.
No salt. And we move on to Kyle, who is such a cutie pie with Barbie. I don't mean to shit on their relationship. It's very, very lovely.
Well, he sees marriage with her.
Yes, he does. Ben is a fantastic leader.
I was going to say Puff Daddy's got a better shot at becoming a relationship counselor than you two getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that won't happen. That.
Yeah.
They're never getting married.
You sit down with Puff Daddy, very expensive. My wife and I have been having problems. Well, have you tried beating the shit out of her? It's like,
Can you believe we're paying him $350 an hour? I don't want to go back to see him again.
yeah. And the husband's like, well, I don't know. Let's try it out. We've done one session. I mean, were you listening to anything he said? Because if you're not going to put the work in, then let's not go back. But if you want to try to save our marriage. Before you know it, they're on a vacation. They're at the Cosmo.
And they're cheersing to, we did the work.
We did the work. A couple pops of Adderall and a couple cocktails later, and he's fucking dragging her around by the hair in front of the fucking security cameras. So don't go to Puff Daddy for couples counseling. Session 2, he's like, yeah. So Kyle is on the show, and he is being led by Ben.
I can't believe Kyle fell for this. To be, what would the word be? Like, why are you joining Ben in this stupid, nonsensical fight at the captain? You haven't been that guy the entire season.
Yeah. I think red pills and blue pills and black pills alike refer. Excuse me. When you go out of town, you don't sleep well. Everything gets thrown off. People would refer to Kyle as a sheep right now.
That's right. He's being a follower.
He's being a follower, which is, it's a difficult position to put yourself in because, you're being told what to do by your boss, essentially, or suggested. So
I'm going to clean my cabin.
yeah. So, throw away food after 5 days. This conversation gets brought up. It's always interesting because I'm very finicky when it comes to this kind of stuff. I won't eat anything that's been in the fridge longer than 3 days.
Huh.
And I think some people are like, what are you talking about? 1 day, that's it.
How about a pizza?
2-day max.
Okay.
2-day max. Then it goes straight in the bin. There's so much food waste in America.
Bring it over here. I'll eat it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've got the raccoon stomach.
I love a 3-day-old pizza.
Really? Mm-hmm. When the cheese gets so cold that it splits from the sauce?
It's fine.
Wow.
I welcome it.
So Zandy says that she doesn't have the time to flush her toilet. Mm-hmm. What? Zandy's just taking fucking, live shits and just leaving them there? She's so busy. Mm-hmm. Frazier says, have some decorum about you, you swine. Clean your cabin. Thank you very much for saying that. So we head out for a day at the beach. Barbie gets her lashes on while Vampira does all of Barbie's work. She does eventually get back to work to clean up vomit. Because the night before, that woman wasn't feeling so well, so she threw up all over the place. And the next day, Barbie has to clean it up. So Paris and Nick continue to feud with one another. Nick didn't bring foil, which brings this whole thing to a head once again. Lunch is shrimp skewers and pesto salad and a little corn. We're getting pretty close to Brittany and Jack's kind of cuisine here, which, if you're not listening to our coverage of The Valley, Patreon, or Vanderpump Rules, Brittany, Jack's betrothed, cooks almost exclusively MRE food, and no human being should eat it. Beer cheese is on the field in Kabul and all of those places. You just add a little hot water to it, and before you know it, you got something you can dip a fucking piece of Salisbury in. But anyways, we've seen this before. A brulee gets sent back, and it's gnarled on by the sea rats quite quickly. The guests are very cool about this.
Right, because the joke was that the charter guest that said, take it away, actually said you can eat it.
Right.
I don't think she actually meant to eat it.
Yeah.
But Paris eats the creme brulee.
She does.
Now, we've seen this on seasons past, as you pointed out. One was a birthday cake that I believe the sea rats began to devour before dinner was even finished. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You've got to just... I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but listen, if I was a sea rat, hard-working sea rat, and all I got to eat was whatever slop the fucking former addict threw out for us, I'd go to town on some creme brulee in a heartbeat. So we get back to the boat, and this whole thing is just too congenial. We need the charter guest to get pissed off about, somebody needs to step in and go, hey, sorry, can we take that again? Can you actually throw your knife at her, please? So we get back, and while Ben should be cleaning his cabin, he's rumbling around and flirting with Sonny. And that is when Carrie begins his inspections. Carrie sees that the sea rat cabins are on a bit of a curve. We've got a 10 for Frazier, 7s for others, but the worst of the bunch, Ben and Kyle, who leave their cabin completely askew and filthy. Now, Carrie calls them up and says that they have paid him blatant disrespect. What do you think? I loved Carrie in this moment. I know that we're a little bit in fire drill mode when we don't need to be, but if we're here, what are you gonna?
I think Carrie sees this because it would have taken them 8.5 minutes to pull together to earn a 6.5. It was a blatant disregard for his request, and I think he sees that as them attempting to question his authority.
I'll tell you what, it's filthy subordination. And in, different cultures and different times, you'd get your fucking kneecap, busted for that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it was a lame cliffhanger, I'd have to say.
Yeah. I mean, like Ben asked, what is he going to do? Fire me? Absolutely not. We'll see Ben next week for the season finale. Get in the comments. Let us know. Do you cook with salt? Do you think that people that don't cook with salt are nutsos?
Would you hire Puff Daddy as your relationship counselor?
How many sessions would you go with Puff Daddy? 5 stars, kind words. We love you very much. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.